Hey guys, I hope you're all doing well. So, I wanted to make this video because last night I did some unintentional shadow work. It was something that I was triggered and I just wanted to kind of get to the root of it. Um, Shadow work is something that I don't really set times or have like a routine for doing it. It's something that when I am triggered, I want to go ahead and I want to find out why. And yesterday, something kind of hit me hard, and I wrote a couple pages of it in my journal. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read you what I wrote in my journal. So this is extremely personal. Um, and if you've got any sideways comments or anything like that, you can just kind of fuck off. It's just part of my life, and doing this process helps me to be able to figure out the roots of my traumas and be able to work through them. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to start reading. I had a conversation today with a friend about my birthday coming up. In all honesty, my hope was that he'd want to join me for it. But per my usual, I never said that, and I never hinted at it. I told him I'd like to get an Airbnb and just be away from people. And he asked, "You're going to spend your birthday alone?" I told him this was pretty much normal. It's usually a meal out with my parents at a place we've been a zillion times. And my sister and niece will probably do cake and ice cream on the day of with me. But I'm a pro at doing things alone. When he asked if I was going to spend it alone, the feelings began to well up. I do a lot of things alone, but it's not how I'd like it to be. I actually kind of hate it. I want nothing more than to have someone, to have people I can go out with or have come over and spend time with. Really, just one special person would be the most amazing thing. I have this identity I've built about being alone. In my head, I claim it's strong and independent, and it proves I can do for myself. But proves it to who? Me? Because there's no one else around. I'm not a social butterfly. I have to be cautious about who I give my time and energy to. But I want so deeply to have those to share myself with. My wound of being alone goes deep, back to my childhood, maybe even past lives. I remember a couple of times where it seemed like this part of me was solidified. If I get emotional, just excuse me and let me get through it. I've read it a couple times, so I might not, but once was returning home. I don't remember from where. We had a van with a bench seat in the back that folded down into a bed. I think it was a grocery store trip. I seem to recall everyone grabbing stuff and taking it inside. I didn't want to help, so I hid under the bench seat in the back. Played it out in my head that Mom would be out to get me, looking for me in no time. Hours passed. I figured she just didn't care. Apparently no one did, because no one did. It got dark. I remember crying more than once, because clearly no one cared about me. No one cared enough to come and look. Finally, my mom came out to tell me dinner was ready. She didn't look for me or call my name. She knew exactly where I was. so I couldn't understand why she didn't come sooner. I was maybe 7 or 8. There was another time I missed the school bus. I was trying to get my shoes tied. I was even younger in this scenario. My brother and sister were already out the door, and the bus left without me. We had a cabinet of sorts, more like a big wooden box with a open front that we kept all of our shoes in. After the bus left, I crawled into it until I finally got my shoes tied. I knew I'd be in trouble if I told Mom I missed the bus, so I just stayed hidden. It wasn't hard. We had a big 3-story house with an apartment type setup in the basement. I hate the memory of this day. I heard my mom and stepdad having sex at one point. It still grosses me out. Obviously makes me cringe. Finally, the phone rang. It was the school, asking if she knew that I wasn't attending that day. She looked around the house for a bit, and she found me. I wasn't really in trouble, but I couldn't figure out why my brother and sister didn't help me or wait for me. There were times when I, no more than 6 years old, had to call our dad to remind him it was his weekend to pick us up, just to have him never show up. These events instilled in me a lie. Several, actually. Beliefs that I'm not worthy, that I'm not loved, and that my struggles don't matter. Now, 30 years later, I sit here to rewrite those beliefs, to conquer the darkness forged in those young, delicate years. To sit with those shadows and remind the inner me, the child, that she was born worthy, that she is a creation of love, and that her struggles have always mattered because they have shaped her into the powerful, courageous woman that she is today. Lost it a little bit, but not too bad. I was a blubbering mess when I was writing this last night. So, that's actually the end of what I wrote. The part that I want to put out there for everybody is that trauma isn't always physical. And it's not always what's now called big T trauma. It's not always being physically abused. It's not being kidnapped or raped, or it's not always those things. A lot of the time it's the small stuff from our childhood that we tell ourselves is our fault. And it's just because we don't know how else to explain it. We can't fathom placing blame on our parents, because in our eyes, especially when we're that young, our parents are perfect. Our parents are everything that they are supposed to be for us, even if they're not. We don't have the understanding that it is on them to provide us with the actions, the words, the nurturing and comfort to help us to understand and believe that we are worthy, that we are loved. And these kinds of events that end up happening to us, like the ones that I wrote about, they're not big T traumas, but they are ones that shape our beliefs, because our egoic mind is set to protect us. But later in life, those beliefs have to be unlearned. in order to set us free from our self-made cage of limiting beliefs. I know that everybody, absolutely everybody this day and age, has got something like this that's happened in their life. Maybe not even similar scenarios, but things where they thought that it was their fault when they were young. And so it has forged a belief that is just downright wrong. It's a lie. I want everybody out there to be able to understand that we can unlearn these. We can get past these limitations. It takes time. It takes a lot of effort because our egoic mind is so dead set on keeping us protected. But as we grow older, that protection turns into limitation. So I want everybody that is seeing this to be able to sit with these traumas. If you get triggered by something like I did, like my friend just asking me, "You're gonna spend your birthday alone?" Completely innocent, but it triggered a lot. If you find yourself triggered by things like this, sit with it. Try to see what memories come up. And the key for, I think, any shadow work is to be able to sit with your shadows, is to be able to accept them for what they are and realize that you don't have to be ashamed of them. You don't have to be embarrassed or afraid of them. They are part of something that you needed at one point in your life to help protect you, to help you feel safe. But at a certain point, it's time to unlearn them. And you have to put forth the effort for it. I don't want to be alone all the time. Like I said, I hate it. It's not something that I enjoy. I want to be able to share my life with amazing close friends and someone that I love so deeply. But I have to be able to open myself up to it rather than just continuing to push those possibilities away. So if you're seeing this and you've watched it all the way to the end, I thank you so much. And I want you to be able to sit and take a breath, just a nice, deep, calm breath. Let your body relax a little bit. And I want you to be able to feel gratitude for what you have in this very moment, for where you're at, and for everything that you've experienced. Because everything up to this point, you've got a 100% survival rate. You have beat it all. We're never going to be perfect. The idea, the concept of perfection is extremely subjective. So you can be perfect in your own eyes. But don't ever worry about being perfect in anybody else's, because it doesn't go like that. Remember that you're doing amazing. Remember that everything you don't like about you was formed from something that happened in your past, and it can be rewritten. So be grateful for everything that's happened to you, everything you've gone through, because it's taught you something. It's not always evident in the moment, but eventually we see those lessons. Thank you guys so much for your time, for your energy, for your patience. I love you all so very much. Take care.